Oh, that's good. Well, hello and welcome back to another episode. It's great to see you all. I hope you're doing well. So apologies for not doing my regular kind of content and stuff for a while. It's really been a particularly busy few weeks. So, I try to keep producing content as best I can, but things do tend to get on top of me, and this really is just a hobby, bit of a sideline for me. So there's always the case that there are other things that sometimes just have to take priority. I am working on the next episode in the linear algebra series, which will be on principal component analysis, so do keep a lookout for that. Hopefully it won't be too long, but it's still likely to be a few weeks. It always does take me quite a long time to make these videos, particularly that type of content, because I always strive to make each one better than the one before. I try to get some kind of continuous improvement in my video making capabilities. I'm by no means a professional filmmaker or anything like that, and my videos, there's an awful lot of room for improvement still, but I feel that I've come such a long way since the videos I made right back at the beginning when I first launched my YouTube channel. So I think, I'm doing okay. But because I constantly strive for high quality, it does mean that it takes me quite a long time to make them. And I mean, personally, I always think that's better. I would rather make a smaller number of videos of a higher quality than just try to churn out content regularly on a weekly basis, even if I'm really not proud of what I'm putting out. I think, probably in terms of the YouTube algorithm, the way I'm doing it is not the optimum. I know people say you should just put content out regularly, whatever it is, but I wouldn't be happy doing that. I always feel that I want to put out the highest quality content that I can possibly manage, and if that means that sometimes there's a few weeks between videos, well, I'm kind of okay with that. I think I do have other, as well as the linear algebra series, I do have some other bits and bobs of content that are in the pipeline, so there is a lot coming up, even if there are quite long pauses. I'm not giving up on the channel by any means, so please hang in there, be patient, and there will be some interesting and exciting stuff coming up throughout the rest of the year. So, one thing that's happened is my wife and I, we flew to Bangkok a few days ago to take care of some business that she had to do there, and unfortunately on our flight on the way back, someone on that flight then went on to test positive for COVID-19. So, we've been contacted by Thailand's test and trace system, and we're now self-isolating for 10 days in our house. We've been tested, which all went very smoothly, if a bit sore for the nose, but yeah, that's all been done, and we haven't heard anything, so presumably the results were negative, which is a relief. That's good. But we do have to self-isolate for a few days now, for 10 days. But actually, in a way, that's quite good. It really gives us an opportunity, I think, just to slow down a little bit. We've been rushing about like headless chickens, is the expression really, for the last couple of weeks. And I think, in a way, the excuse just to take a bit of time out, chill out a little bit, is actually really quite timely. And as I say, I think really quite a good opportunity. But yeah, interesting. Bit of a turn up for the books, I think, that one. So one thing that I wanted to talk about just briefly today in this video, and I know deviating from my usual type of content, but I've seen quite a lot of chat online recently about people wanting to start their own YouTube channels and people looking to start YouTube channels and everything. And that's fantastic. That's great. As a new YouTuber myself, I always really like to see other people getting into it, and I would always want to encourage other people to get into doing YouTubing. I find it a fantastic thing to do. It's a really great hobby, and I would encourage anyone with even a vague interest to get into it. But I always wonder what it is that actually motivates other people to get into doing YouTube. And of course, this also made me think about what is it that really motivates me. I mean, for me, actually, I really just love making videos. The whole reason I do this is that I simply really enjoy making videos. I mean, I also enjoy that, I hope anyway, that my content is useful to others and maybe inspirational and hopefully educational as well. But really the principal thing that motivates me, that drives me, is that I just really enjoy the process of making videos. I just love making videos and putting them out there. And this is something that I found especially helpful at the beginning when I was just starting out with my YouTube channel. I mean, I can remember, as it's not really that long ago, back at the beginning of 2020, I remember I had 16 subscribers, and none of my videos had more than 100 views, and many of them actually had at that point less than 10 views. And I'd be happy if I got 2 or 3 views on a video in a week, and and at the time I thought that was pretty good. And what really kept me going through that was that I wasn't motivated by the need for my videos to be popular. I wasn't motivated by any of that. I just really enjoyed making them and putting them out there. And to me, really, it didn't matter whether people watched them or not. I mean, obviously, I'm really grateful that people do, and I have approaching 1,000 subscribers now, and that is just awesome, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. But it's not the reason that I make my YouTube. I would do this anyway. And because of that, that really helped me get through that beginning stage, that early stage of the process, when my channel was just starting to grow. Pretty much only my friends and family had subscribed, really no one else there. Never really got any comments, didn't get any feedback or anything. And I think that's the point. Many people start YouTube videos, and I think, I'm no expert by any means, but I think what often happens is that people go through that phase. There's the initial excitement of doing it, or doing something new, and then they get into that long flat period where there's no growth. People are not really watching your content because you're too small, you're not a well-known figure in any way. The YouTube algorithm hasn't really picked you up yet, and so your content's just not getting out there, and no one's really watching it. You're not getting the subscribers, you're not getting the feedback. And I think for a lot of people, they really struggle with that, because that's why they began their YouTube channel in the first place. They wanted that feedback, they wanted that attention, they wanted to get the response. They're doing it for that reason. And of course, if you're doing it for that reason, it's going to be very difficult to get through that period, before you really start to get growth. I think it's very rare, as I understand it, for a YouTube channel not to go through that kind of period at the beginning. And yeah, I think if you're motivated just by likes or by subscribers or something like that, you're going to really struggle. You need some other personal motivation, some other reason for doing it, which, I mean, as I say, for me, it was simply that I just love making videos, and I didn't really care. I know it sounds a bit facetious, but I didn't particularly care whether people subscribed to my channel or not. I would have done it anyway, just because I enjoyed doing it. I think sometimes people also start YouTube channels because they think being a YouTuber is somehow glamorous, or, you know, it's going to make them famous, or they're going to get thousands of subscribers in a few months and they're going to be able to monetize and they're going to start earning megabucks of passive income even while they sleep. And of course, if that's your aim, when that doesn't happen, because I think pretty much it takes years for any channel to get to that point, you know, then you're going to lose motivation if that's what you're aiming for. One thing that I can say, even with the limited experience that I have of doing YouTube so far, is that there is nothing glamorous about it. There really isn't. I mean, there's 20% really of the work that is the really fun, exciting stuff, the sort of getting out there with the camera, the shooting footage, making film, you know, doing that kind of stuff. That's like 20% of the work. The other 80% is stuff that no one ever sees. It's the editing, the planning, the script writing, all of this other stuff. And that's kind of really the boring stuff for most people. I mean, a lot of it is what I really love. I'm not actually that fond of editing, if I'm honest, but, you know, you have to do it, you know, to make videos, and I love making videos, so it's something I put up with. But I think there's this sense that somehow being a YouTuber is this kind of glamorous luxury lifestyle and this ticket to, as I say, megabucks of passive income. And I think, no, I don't really think that's the case. I mean, it's certainly not something that I expect really to happen from my channel. You know, I'm not yet in a position to monetize. I probably will when I can, when that time comes. I'm not, you know, some idealist that thinks that I shouldn't do that. But I'm not expecting to make vast amounts of money from it. I'm not expecting to be able to quit the day job and retire off the passive income from this channel. I mean, it would be fantastic if it happened, but I don't think it's going to. And so as a consequence, that's not what motivates me. And I think sometimes people see what seems to be a very sort of sexy, glamorous lifestyle that YouTubers have, and they get sort of drawn in and they think, oh yeah, that's going to be me. And, you know, it's I mean, it's the classic 80-20 rule, isn't it? I mean, maybe 20%, perhaps actually even less, of content creation is the glamorous, exciting stuff. And of course, people never see the other 80%, so they never think about it. And I think, yeah, you know, I think that again is another reason for sometimes people start channels and they don't succeed, because, you know, they're just expecting it to be all of this stuff that, well, frankly, it isn't. Yeah, so anyway. So I guess really what I'm saying is that to anyone out there that's thinking of starting their own YouTube channel, absolutely do it, go for it, give it a go. You've really got nothing to lose, except, I mean, you obviously have to invest some time into it, and you can do it with very cheap hardware. I've basically bought nothing special for doing this. I have some lights that I have now, but they were pretty cheap off the internet, and, you know, I got my camera that I had before, I've got a cheap microphone here that I had before, an audio recorder that I use that I bought specially. I have recently upgraded to these acoustic foam panels, which do slightly improve the acoustics in the room here, but I mean, that's it. You know, it hasn't cost me a great deal of money. It's been really very affordable in that sense. And so, you know, I'd say just do it. Don't spend a large amount of money on it up front. Really see if it's something you want to make something of first. See if it's something that you can be motivated to keep going with it. And the one thing that I would say is be careful of your motivation. If you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel, take a step back. Think about why you want to start a YouTube channel. What do you actually want to get out of it? Are you doing it because you really love making videos? Are you doing it because you really want to share your knowledge and expertise with others? You know, those are all examples of really good reasons to do something like a YouTube channel. If you're doing it because you think it's going to be glamorous, you think it's going to make you famous, you think it's going to make you rich, just take a moment, pause, think about that carefully, because it's not going to do those things, at least not quickly. Okay, so just take a pause and think about your motivation. But, you know, listen, I don't mean to discourage anyone, quite the opposite. And, you know, for me, it's been a fantastic experience. I have absolutely no regrets of putting the time into this that I have done. And believe me, it's a lot of time, okay, even to make the relatively crude and naive content that I come up with. It's a big investment of time. So I don't regret that. I've loved it. I've loved every moment of doing it so far, and I'm really excited to keep going and making more content. So, but, you know, if you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel, by all means, you know, do it. Go ahead and do it. But just be careful about what your real motivations are. Anyway, I think that's enough enough from me for today, really. I know this is a very different type of content to what I normally make, so it's a bit of an experiment. We'll see how it does. If this is popular, I might go on and make more content like this. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to hit that like button. Do let me know, actually, because it's a new content type. I'd love to know if people have enjoyed it. If you have any comments, whatever, let me know in the comment section below. And it's been a great deal of pleasure making this video, and I really hope you've enjoyed it, and I very much look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.